Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Appreciate you tuning in. Hopefully this is going to be the start of me being able to make more videos now. Since I live in the southwest of the USA, it's been extremely hot here. And as you can see, well, you can't see, but I'm in my garage. That's where I do most of my playing and practicing and stuff in the winter time. In the fall or in the spring and the summer, unfortunately, I have to move it into the house. And I can't really play with amps and stuff because my family. And it's really hard to record videos in there. So this is my first video back out in the garage. It's still a little hot, a little humid in here, but I actually have a swamp cooler right over there. But if I turn it, it's an industrial strength one. So if I turn it on, it's going to be super loud. My apologies in advance about the guitar sound because unfortunately I'm not, hardcore YouTube guy. I'm just a guy in his garage. So all I have is this little lapel mic here. It picks up the guitar, but it's not going to, the sound quality is not going to be great unless I had a mic right in front of there. So not really a sound guitar review. I mean, I'll play a couple things, but my main goal really is to tell you why I'm returning this guitar. Just to give you a little background, I bought this guitar last week from the Guitar Center by my house. One of the main reasons, now there's a couple local shops. One of the main reasons I like to buy guitars from Guitar Center sometimes is because they have a great return policy. 45 days, no question, right? As long as it's not like snapped in half or whatever, you can return it. So I tend to buy a lot of gear from Guitar Center, test it out, and then if I like it, I'll return it and either buy it maybe from Sweetwater, unless the Guitar Center guys give me a good deal, or I'll buy it at a music store around here, a local one. My theory is, Guitar Center, like if I bought this at a local music shop, most local music shops are not, their return policy is going to be like 7 days, exchange only, no refunds. And, I just can't deal with that. But if they have the same guitar, I can order it through them. So if I really liked this, I would return it to Guitar Center and then, order it through those guys, because I do believe in supporting local stuff. The only thing I buy from Guitar Center is like strings and picks and stuff like that, maybe a t-shirt or something. But anyway, so what I'm holding here in my hands is a 2020 Jackson, you can see right here, soloist. Let me get this name right. I got it pulled up right here. Jackson X Series Soloist SLX Crackle electric guitar, Laurel fingerboard, orange crackle. That's the name of it. Quick specs. It's an X series. It's a soloist body. It's made of basswood, gloss finish, one-piece maple neck through body with graphite reinforcement and scarf joint, which I'll show you here in a minute. And the fingerboard, Laurel, 12 to 16 compound radius, 24 jumbo frets, pearloid shark fin inlays, Floyd Rose locking tremolo, which this is a Floyd Rose special. One of the reasons I don't like it. Headstock, 6-pointed. Jackson pointed 6-in line. Jackson sealed die-cast tuners, 25.5-inch scale. Recessed Floyd Rose double locking tremolo. Duncan, now this thing comes with Seymour Duncan design pickups, those kind of crappy entry-level ones. This one obviously has EMGs in it. I got this used, by the way. Got a volume, a tone, 3-way switch. Hardware's black, and so on. And the strings, now the strings I put on here, there are 9 to 42s are on here. So, a couple things. I mean, with these EMGs, now the gear I'm using here is this guitar is plugged into a Line 6 Pod Go, which is then my 6505 PV, 6505 plus 112 is on the ground right here, and I'm just using the PV basically as a speaker for the Line 6. So here's the tone that we're at here, or the bridge pickup. So that's kind of what we're dealing with here. Again, it's going to be pretty muffled. Obviously, it's got the cool crackle finish right here. Now, there's a guitar sitting right next to me. Let me just show you real quick. It's another Jackson. This is a, actually, believe it or not, this is a 1994 Stealth EX professional Jackson. Also got, now this actually has the Jackson tremolo on it. This guitar is awesome. I mean, the video's not going to show up, but the neck on this thing, I have small hands and I can basically, you know, get my entire hand around this thing. The reason I just got this a couple weeks ago, it was only $100. Okay, I looked on Reverb. These things are selling for like, you know, $300, $400, $500 depending on condition. This one's got some issues, cosmetic issues only. It's got a chip right here, okay, and it's got another big chip right here. Let me see if we can see that right. Well, let me do it this way. There we go, right there. So cosmetically, I bought this from a local guitar shop. It had been sitting in his shop for 3 years, he said. He had it listed for $400, $375, $400. I actually went in there to buy a different guitar, and I picked this one up, you know, and I just wanted to play it. I'm like, man, this thing's been here forever. And I started playing it. I'm like, oh my God, the neck is super thin, a very shreddy neck, and it sounds amazing. The action is super low. And I said, please don't tell me the only reason this guitar is still in here is because of these chips. And he tried to fill it in with like nail polish or something like that. And he goes, yeah, I mean, he goes, it plays amazing, but nobody wants it because of these chips on here. And I said, huh. He goes, I'll tell you what, I'll just to get it out of my store, I'll give it to you for $100. And I go, done, like done. So I bought it. Over the weekend, I actually put a Seymour Duncan JB Trembucker in here. Sounds really good. But the reason I bring this guitar up is because when I bought it, now I've painted some other guitars, and I got a lot of guitar reviews to do on this channel. I've updated my collection quite a bit since the last time I've done it. But yeah, it's got some scratches and things, and I'll make a separate video about this. But the reason I bring it up, the reason I bring it in is because my plan with this guitar was to actually spray it black and red crackle. I said, wow, that's a perfect guitar to do that. It's like an 80s, 90s guitar. It'll look cool. I want to spray it crackle. So I ordered the paint, again, which is right on the ground right next to me. The funny thing, I actually was coming from, so I wanted to spray that guitar this color. This is what I wanted it to look like. The pattern's a little different, but essentially the same. So I literally went to Home Depot. I bought the paint to paint it crackle, and then I was like, well, I got some time before I have to go home. Let me just stop at Guitar Center. And they had this hanging on the wall. I've never seen one of these in a store, and of course they had it literally when I just bought the paint for that. So I grabbed it down off the shelf. I started playing it. It was late. I'm like, well, I don't really have time to sit here for an hour and, you know, kind of demo it and see if I like it. I played it for like 10 minutes. But I go, yeah, you know, Guitar Center's got that good return policy. And there was 2 other people asking me if I was going to buy it, so somebody would have bought it. So I was like, yeah, I'll just buy it and then I'll take it back if I don't like it. So that's where we're at here. But I just thought it was interesting. So, you know, give you the design of it. You can see here this crackle, you know, on the back too, on the sides, basically everywhere. It's got this nice, you know, color scheme going all the way up to the headstock. I mean, very cool. It's got white binding on the sides. Again, very, very, very aesthetically cool looking. But I don't like it. Now, I think one of the reasons why I don't like it is because since I've been making videos, I've really become a Charvel convert. Now, I know I have this Jackson here, but you know, this was made, I think, in the 90s when Jackson still owned Charvel, before Fender bought them. So I know Fender owns Charvel now. I know they own Jackson. I know that. Just because they own it doesn't mean they make it. So, you know, the same people who were making Charvels, you know, before are probably still making them now. They're just owned by a different company. But I've been a Charvel nut. I got this one right here, which I'll be making another video on. I got this 86 Charvel, I think, is what it is, 86, 87 Model A. I'll be making a video on that. So I've really become a Charvel snob in the last year. I own 3 now, so I'll be making videos about all of those. But every time I pick up a new guitar, I just compare it to those Charvels. And, you know, this one right away I knew wasn't like that. I mean, you could tell obviously right away, but you know, it's like Charvel is the standard now, the gold standard for me, and everything else is just, you know, except no substitutes, right? Like Gibson always says, you know, play authentic or get authentic. The Jackson that I bought for $100, again, that's $100, and the neck on that really did feel like, it feels like that Charvel right there. So anyway, back to this guitar. Here's some pros and some cons. Couple of cons. I've had to tune this thing like 3 times before making this video. It's just, again, it's got regular, you know, it's in flat tuning, which all my Charvels are in flat tuning. That's pretty much what I play in. I have a couple in standard, but for the most part, flat tuning. I've had to tune this thing so many times. It goes out of tune. It's just, it sucks. I'm sure that has to do with the Floyd Rose Special. You know, if you know anything about Floyd Rose, the specials aren't really the greatest, but you know, you can't do, when I try to do dive bombs, it's just, it's got no balls, I feel like. Now, let's see if it's in tune. Not terrible, but again, it's I don't know. It's just something about this guitar. The way it feels. I'm sure those of you that are watching that play guitar, when you grab a guitar and you start playing it, you know, the guitar either jives with you or it doesn't. I've owned many beautiful guitars over the years that you just don't like the way they play. And this is one of them. I love the way it looks, but I hate the way it plays. The other thing that I don't like, it's got a painted neck and it's gloss. Yeah, very sticky, you know, very, very sticky. I don't like that, especially coming from Charvels. All my Charvels have a maple fretboard, you know, and they're like almost unfinished in a sense. They're super smooth, super slick, very easy to play. You grab this one, it's, you know, it's like it's all sticky, but again, it looks killer. Not too many people, of course, see behind the neck anyway, but so that's another thing I don't like. Now, these pickups, I'm usually a pretty good EMG fan. I really am. I've owned a couple guitars that had EMGs, and I really like them. I love the way they sound. And this, I don't know. I don't really hear, I'm not really hearing the EMG metal shreddiness that I normally hear, you know, with EMGs. Very hard to do harmonics on this guitar too. They just don't sound as good as they normally do. And I was really surprised with these EMGs. I changed the battery too, just to make sure maybe the battery wasn't dead. But I asked the guy when at Guitar Center, I said, so what's the deal with this? What is this? I said, is that used? Because it had one of those like yellow stickers that said, you know, can't buy until such and such. And I said, is that used? And he goes, yeah. I said, are you do you know why the guy brought it back? He goes, yeah, actually, I checked it in. He said I don't know, he didn't like it. And I said, oh, that's weird. And I get it. I mean, again, depending on what style of music you play, you know, I'm a metal guy, and I just don't like this guitar. I don't like it. like it. What do I like about it? Is there anything I like about this guitar? Hang on a second. This feels like somebody's at my front door here. Sorry about that. It was like some weird car out front or something. So back to, what do I like? Well, oh, it was a car. Weird. So what I like about it, I actually really like this neck through design here, this cut. I mean, it's awesome. The only other time I've seen these, you know, obviously on Jackson, I've seen them on ESPs. I love this. I wish more companies would do this. I know, you know, on a bolt-on neck, it's a little different, but Ibanez, you know, has been doing this for a long time, where they have that little rounded, you know, area where you can get your hand, you know, all the way up here. I mean, this thing's got 24 frets, and I can reach all the way up here. The other thing, so that's, I like that. I really, really do. Again, I have small hands. So when you're trying, on my normal guitars like that Jackson, it's very hard to get up there, you know, to the 21st fret or anything like that. And to play down the neck, I mean, I could do this on this guitar real easy, but on the Jackson, the other one, or any of them, you know, this is the only guitar that I have that has this cool design. Other than I do have an Ibanez bolt-on neck with that little rounded thing. So I like that, but you know, the other thing I noticed is this guitar is not that old. Like, it's only a year old, and again, it doesn't even really look like it's been played much, but it has, I don't know, it won't, like, the notes won't sustain, like, oops, that's my sloppy playing, but it just, when you get up the neck, see how it just dies? None of my Charvels do that. I mean, I'm sure, you know, if I polished all the frets and everything, I could probably take that away. But, you know, I mean, it doesn't, like, if I play that Jackson, I mean, the sustain is insane on that thing. It's really good frets, and it's like 26 years old, 27 years old. Don't know. It doesn't look like it's been refretted at all. I just feel like this, for the money and for the age of this thing, it should have some, you know, the frets shouldn't be so crappy. The shark fin inlays, you know, those are cool. I mean, that's very Jackson, very 80s. Again, very hard for me to do harmonic squeals on this thing. I really have to, like, search for a good spot to do them. Whereas on a lot of my other guitars, it's just like effortless. I just don't like it. So I'm going to be returning it probably tomorrow. I don't want to keep it too long, because knowing my luck, you know, I'll have it, you know, in the house and it'll fall over, the neck will break. I mean, who the hell knows? That's just my luck. So I'm going to return this, and I'm going to get another Charvel, just because, again, like I said, I've been spoiled by Charvels. You know, excuse the mess behind me. I should have said that in the beginning. Again, I'm out in my garage, and this is the first video I've made for this. So I really haven't had a chance to clean up anything, but this is, you know, this is my side of the garage. So that's it. I mean, again, you know, if you like these kind of guitars, I mean, again, it's aesthetically, it's really cool looking. But, you know, depending on your playing style, I don't know. I just don't like it. It's just not jiving with me, you know, as much as when I picked up that Charvel, and I bought that from a local music store. When I picked up that Charvel, I was like, wow, that's the first Charvel I ever owned, is this 80s one. So I never knew what I'd been missing all these years. And when I picked up that one, I got a really good deal on that one. But when I picked that one up and I started playing it, I was like, wow, this thing is amazing. And so I bought that one, and then I got another one, a Warren DeMartini snakeskin, which I'll actually do a review on that one too. And then I got one more, and my next one's probably going to be a SoCal Snow White Strat style guitar. That's really, I really like the look of that. It's like kind of Jakey Lee-ish. That'll probably be my last guitar for a while, but that's a little pricey. So I'm trying to sell a couple other ones right now to get the money for that one. But other than that, that's it. I'd have to not recommend this guitar. But again, the problem with, guitar reviews and stuff like that is it's all personal preference. Somebody, I'm sure, a kid or somebody will pick this thing up and be in love with it. And that's what I'm hoping will buy it when I take it back. But I mean, it's really aesthetically pleasing. I will give Jackson that. Fender, Jackson, China. It's made in China, so I'll give the Chinese that. They really did a nice job on this thing, paint-wise. Cosmetically, it's very aesthetically pleasing. The binding is great. The frets, there's no fret sprout on any of this. I don't feel anything on this guitar. And again, I love this neck carve here. I wish more companies would do that. I know it would probably be more expensive, but man, would it just make playing a whole lot easier for guys like me that have, skinny or small hands. So, in closing, I would not recommend this guitar, but, try it for yourself. Let me know your thoughts. Do you own this guitar? Do you like it? Do you not like it? I've seen a bunch of these for sale, so obviously I'm not the only one who doesn't like these. And like I said, the guy who, you could probably do some things to improve it, right? I could get a real Floyd Rose bridge in here. That would, help out a lot. I could polish the frets and maybe, take some steel wool to them or something. They're a little dull. I could do that. But again, for the money, I'm not going to waste that money. Every Charvel I've ever bought never goes out of tune, like barely. It barely goes out of tune if it just sits. But if I do crazy dive bombs, harmonics, wiggles, just all kinds of shit, if I just let it sit there for 3 days, it's still basically in tune when I pick it up after all the dive bombs and stuff. This thing, like I said, I had to tune it like 3 times and I barely played anything. I'd play a couple chords and then I put it down, made a phone call, got back on, and I'm like, Jesus, it's out of tune again? And again, I know that has a lot to do with this crappy bridge, but I know I wouldn't really consider this an entry-level guitar because brand new, I think on the website, it was like $600, $650. So I wouldn't really consider this an entry level. It's more like a mid-priced one. It's not your cheap dinky, I guess. I mean, I've played some dinkies that sounded better than this thing. So that's it. I'm going to be returning it at Guitar Center, but that's a little tip. If you guys like to test out gear, but you don't want to support Guitar Center, but you want to test out gear, they have that awesome return policy. I've used it, again, I'm using it on this. I've used it on another guitar. I bought a Headrush pedal board from Guitar Center to test out, sent that back. I bought a Line 6 Helix from Guitar Center to test out, sent that back. So, and I've always gotten a full refund, no questions asked, again, as long as it's in that 45-day window. I've only had this for like 8 days or something like that. So yeah, and I'm not going to keep it around much longer just because I don't trust myself. But I will be making another video on this Jackson because I'm going to be painting that, starting the process of painting it this weekend. But I'll go over, how I'm going to do that too, and hopefully do like a step-by-step crackle your guitar website. So again, please subscribe to the channel. I got more things coming. I know I haven't made a lot of videos lately. It's just because the place I normally do it, it's so hot in here. It's hot in here now, but because I don't have that swamp cooler on, but I really wanted to make a video. It's not like deathly hot. It's 85 degrees in here right now. Normally it's like 105. So thanks for your time. Again, please subscribe. Let me know in the comments what you think. Take care.